Okay, I'm going to explain you how to use a CSV file as an input in both browser studio. As you can see, I have these columns, and the column headings are like data, detail, website, and other data. And after that we have the data according to the columns, and these are the detail that we want to use in our board browser studio board that we are creating. Okay, so let's save this. And now first of all, we need to make sure that we are using the project directory command. This is the command that assign the project directory. I have already done that in the main function here, and now I want to read the file that I created and save the data of that file into a variable. Okay, so I'll use the command read file to list and select the project directory as a starting location, and slash and the name of the data file, that is CSV or data.csv, and I can type a variable that I could easily recognize, list of data. Okay, now what will happen, this command will save all the data of that file into the memory of both browser, so it won't have to read that file again and again. So now we have the data in the list, and we can see there are this data, this is a variable, and we have the data here. Okay, good. Now we want both browser to use the data one by one. One by one means according to the rows, so we'll call it a command, let's say 4, because we want to start a loop and we want to start picking the data from the first row. Okay, although Excel file CSV file always started from the row number 0, but in the row 0 we have the headings of the column, so we want to start picking the data from row number 1, and let's say 10 or 20 as you may want. Okay, we have the loop now. Okay, now we need to use a command called get element from the list. Okay, get element, this is the list command, and this is the command that we should use, get element. And now here we need to select the variable with the list, that is list of the data. Okay, this is the list, and here we want to specify from which index we want to pick the data, because we want to use the data one by one, so we should use cycle index. Okay, so this cycle index will automatically increases this number according, because we are in the loop. Okay, once a loop for one row is complete, it will increase the cycle index next to next row. List element, now we need to specify a variable list element, call it list element, it should be recognizable, so you can easily recognize it. Let's call it item list of data. Okay, now, but if you want to remove that data from the list, you can use this command, remove from list, otherwise leave it as it is. Okay, so now what will happen, if we run the loop like this, we will get the data from the list, and this is the data which is row number 1. Okay, we go to data 1 like this. Still this data is not usable, because now what we want to put this data cell A2 into one variable, B2 into another, and C2 into another according to the heading that we have in this file. Let me show you. Because we have 4 columns, now we already got the data from the row, but we have to separate this data according to the column so that we can use the variables one by one. So we call a command CSV parse CSV use this command parse CSV, and here we specify the variable that have the data from the row, and that item that is item list of the data. We use this command. Here they are separators, because it's a CSV file, the separator is comma here. If you have Excel file or something else, Excel file should have this column, or if you have any other kind of separator for your CSV file, then you need to specify it here. So I'm using comma, and now I want to specify the variable for each column. Like this is the column 1, and this will be the first variable, and I want to call it as a data. Okay, I put a comma here. The next data I have is detail, so I type in detail, but you can have any name for your variable, that is not an issue. So we have website and other data as other website, so other data. Okay, now I have specified 4 different variables for each column, right? And now I press OK. Now we got 4 data detail. Now we got 4 variables that are different, and now we can use these variables in the bot or any command that we are doing. Let me show you by opening a google.com. let's say google.com. okay, and here I want to type text. Okay, you can remove this fail thread if element not found. It shows that it can jump. Okay, here I want to type data from this. Oh, come on, this something happens. Okay, this is the data. I want to type a data of A2 here, so I will use the variable data. I type, select the variable, it's data. Okay, let's see. So it types data. Okay, data variable have this value, and if I want to use a detail in this field, I will use detail here, and it will pick the value of variable called detail. Okay, so this way you can use CSV parse to separate the data and read the data from the CSV file. It's quite easy, and you can put all these command needs to be in the 4 command, so that it can automatically increases the value of the cycle index and keeps getting the data according to rows and columns.